Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'll be going through a LEGO Microgame that is in Unity, and I'm using the newest version of Unity that is right now, Unity Hub 2.4.5, and the Unity version is the LTS version of 2020.3, 22F1. It's not especially important, and it shouldn't really change much what version you're using, because this LEGO system has been around for quite a while. But if you want to make this yourself, I would suggest to start out with getting the Unity Hub, but you could start out just getting Unity directly. But with the Unity Hub you can just add the version, select what version of Unity you want, and the recommended release is the one I already installed here. The LTS is the long-term support one, so it has the latest updates, and it means that it's focusing on patching things that are existing in this release rather than adding new features that might be unstable. So if you download any of the 2021 versions, they might not have long-term support, but soon there will be a long-term support one of 2021 as well, because it will release early next year. And after you have installed that, you can go to project, add a new project for the newest version. You can select, these are all the installed versions of Unity I have. And then it retrieves a list of available templates. So these are just standard stuff, but now we can see we can scroll because it downloaded this, and there are several interesting templates, I think. An AR template for trying out AR, sample for eye definition, an FPS microgame, the Unity one that shows some multiplayer capabilities and such, and other new features they're working on. But I think actually still most of the features they're showing off in this are still not fully developed, even with the newest version of 2021 or the alpha of 2022 of Unity. But there are still good examples that are really good to learn from. But I think this LEGO Microgame one is one of the best ones to learn from. And what I did to begin with was just click here and click download, and you have to wait for it to download, and then once it has, you can click create, like here, and create your own new project. And I already did this, so let's start the one I installed. And it has tutorials, which is what I'll be showing here, how to go through the tutorial and what it contains, so you won't have to actually follow everything yourself, and see if it's something you would be interested in. So as it says in this tutorial, you will begin to explore the basics of the Unity editor. As you playtest the start of the LEGO Microgame, preview the Unity editor interface and make player minifig faster. I guess this is the player minifig. Enter play mode. So, as usually with Unity, this just means that we actually test out the game. So there's an existing minigame here, which has quite a lot of features. Oh, another option is so you can maximize this. So let's try that again. Well, the tutorial didn't expect me to just stop it. So let's try the full screen next time. But yeah, what we noticed a bit was that we moved quite slow, so that's what I meant by speeding it up. So we can click here, and you can see this is the Unity object that we have selected in the hierarchy. By the way, the layout here is one I set up myself. It's pretty much the standard layout. And I guess I usually change it a bit so it's oh yeah, that's because it's a new version of Unity I've installed. Usually I set this one to I'll show you that later. So now the plan is to set this to 13 so that we move faster, and then we can save, click file, click save, or you can click Control S, which I usually use, and then we can click play mode again, and as you can see, because I clicked maximize, it should now go into full size and show the game a bit better. And there's even pickups here, where you can pick up stuff. And we can jump, and as you can see, the character moves quite a bit faster now. See how far you can get, and I guess we can't get any farther than this because we probably need. Oh, there's a double jump. Oh well, you lost, try again, and so on. So let's go out of that. That was the first tutorial, it seems. Which was a good way to just show how the editor works, and I'm pretty sure the following tutorials do the same. And I have played around with this before, it was a while ago, but there's a LEGO system built into this where you can actually put together bricks and so on, which is quite interesting. But yeah, let's try the next tutorial. Add a platform. Drag the platform in. So here we have a platform. And yeah, this is somewhat what I suspected. I'm not sure if the double jump could do it, but I think this is to help show how you can actually make the game completable, because otherwise it's not. Change your view. Oh, for some reason it suggests using Alt. I usually use the right mouse button, it seems to do the same thing. Yeah. So you can hold down the right mouse button and look around, or you can hold down Alt and look around. If you hold down Alt and the right mouse button, you zoom in and out, but you can also use the scroll wheel to zoom in and out. I suspect it might be because of Macs that it doesn't go into the right click one, because they don't always have a right click. Select the move tool, and this is what I actually already used. This is how to move it around in 3D. But you can also do more things, which this might actually get into later, but there are other ways of using this so that it can rotate and other stuff up here. And there's one that has everything included in one tool, so that you can rotate, resize, and move it around all at the same time. But yeah, let's click next. Now we can use the rotate tool, so we can rotate it a bit. And as it explains, different axes to rotate around. Just for the fun of it, let's make it a bit to see how the game reacts to it not being level. So I've aligned it somewhat, and now we can enter play mode and see how this works. And still it goes to full screen because, wait, it doesn't maximize and play. Yeah, this part of the tutorial reloads, so it has reset the settings, and I would have to click maximize and play again. One way to maximize when you're running is that you can pause and play again, but not during the tutorial, it seems. Let's go to the new platform. And it works. I'm not sure if the character actually tilts because of the tilt on the platform, but that's not especially important anyway. And this looks like it's supposed to be an elevator, so let's see if that's the next part of the tutorial. And then it suggests to place it differently in case it's not perfectly placed. Since this is an early part of the game, maybe it's best to keep it so that you can actually jump to it without the double jump. So we can move it a bit closer here, a bit lower, and moving around. Oh, I'm using the WASD keys to move around here. Because that way, when I hold down the right mouse button, I guess Alt could do the same. No, not actually. I'm not sure how it's done without the right mouse button. Let's here move around, giving a better view of how it's placed in comparison to the other platforms. And it seems to be limited how much I can affect because of the tutorial, which is probably a good thing for new users, because you do not want it to be something that you change the different. For example, if I could click Game Manager and move that around, it might be a problem, or other existing platforms. But now I moved it a bit off, so let's move it a bit back, and yeah, that should be fine. I was supposed to test it and save the map, but it doesn't get saved anyway. So now we have to actuate the elevator. And it seems I have the choice of clicking here or clicking done, so that clicking done I can just play around with this, but I'll try to click tutorial. Oh, I have to select it first, that's what it means. And now it reloads the editor again, and now I'm in the next part of... Oh, now I see. So I click done, and I can click... And I saved. And now we can go to the third part with actuating the elevator. So we need an elevator brick. Oh yeah, and this is the brick system. It's pretty nice. So we can click here, and then we need to drag it into the scene view. So we'll just place it here, but that's not enough because we need it to be part of an object. This is the brick building mode. So right now it connects the Lego blocks if they can be connected. And as you can see, it has some options to be rotated and flipped. So now it's on its head. And the nice part here is that this is a block that has an effect, so whatever it connects to, the Lego object it's connected to actually gains stuff from being connected here. So it's a bit like a visual coding tool. So it suggests So yeah, now I can disable this, and I can switch between whether it selects the full object. See here, I can only select the full lift, and I can see that this brick is now connected to the lift. Or I can click this and I can change this object and the parts of it. And this one selects whether I can move around these objects at all. Right now I can't, and that means it will only select full objects, and then I can move around that full object like this. But let's not do that. And it shows some shortcuts, Control-Alt-N to... Let's try it. Oh no, I click Control-Shift-N. Maybe I should try the right combo. Seems another of my apps used that shortcut. So now we can see that it does as the tutorial says, that clicking Control-Alt-N will do the same as clicking here with the mouse. Or I can click Control-Alt-K and it will be the same as clicking here with the mouse. But sometimes shortcuts are nice to have, because you're going to use it a lot when making large Legos. Let's take the next part. Connect the elevator brick to the right side of the platforms. So if I select this and single brick, I can select this and place it over here as the tutorial tells me to. When you're happy with the brick's position, click again to connect it. Oh, yeah, so if I click... I have to click drag. I thought it would... Yes, so it keeps moving the brick around until I click again and place it where it is. Once I have started dragging, it seems, so I can't just click, I need to start dragging and then place it. So let's go next, and we can select the play mode. And now I'm curious about whether it will remember the platform I placed, or whether this has its own placement of it. Yep, it's actually using my platform. And I still need the double jumps. Oh, it even has a sound effect. Nice. Explore the island. Completed. And then we click play again to exit the play mode. The play button, not the play again in the game. So let's add a trigger to the elevator, because we want it to only move when we are standing on it. So we need to use behavior. So this movement brick is a behavior brick, and that's an action brick. And as I talked about, they make a game object perform a particular action, and you can also add a trigger brick to the platform. So let's see, which one is a trigger brick? That must be touch trigger. And here you can see there are some minifigs and effects and projectiles, models that can be used. Astronaut, pizza boy, all kinds of stuff. And add touch trigger to the brick. So we have the touch trigger. Maybe I should try to change this view again. Usually this is the view I use. And the good thing about that is that we can have this console lock at the same time as we have this other lock. So to find what we were just looking at, we need to go to prefabs, behavior bricks, and instead of showing them with the icon and everything, it'll just show them here with a small icon. But the name is now fully visible, and we can make it this small and still have a good view over it. And see, now it highlights the touch trigger, and we can drag it in and place it, and then click here. After I dragged it in, it actually kept hold of the Lego brick because this was active and I could place it on the platform. And now we have done this part, so I'll move on. And I'll click Save Changes, which is a good thing to learn. It's so annoying having made a lot of stuff in Unity and it crashes or something, and suddenly, or the computer crashes or whatever, and suddenly you have lost a lot of progress. It's very important to save regularly. So let's try playing again to see if this touch trigger works. Seems I didn't need double jump. Woohoo! Moves only on touch. And once it has been touched, it just keeps moving. I was wondering whether it would only move up and down as long as I was on top of it. Woohoo! Completed. And then the wind conditions can be changed. But this seems to actually show what this project is all about. So you add an enemy and you can add some AI to these enemies. You can customize the game, explore the island, find more ways to do stuff, and you can import assets from the Unity asset store. Supercharge your game with a world of assets to personalize it. Microgame mods, because there are mods made by, I'm suspecting that it must also be other people and not just Lego official mods. I was part of an online tutorial for this, and yeah, I do remember there's a large community for all of this. And then you can build, publish, and bonus, because you can create it as a web game that so that it launches in the web browser, and you can just open it even on a phone and play it there. And see this in the web browser. Not sure how well it will run on the phone, but with modern phones I'm guessing it probably could run okay. But yeah, it should be possible to just skip ahead, so let's first try this world of assets. So here we have customize your Lego game, and there's actually contests also to make a one-button game challenge. One-button game is games where the only control you have is one button, and that also sometimes you have to long click it. So maybe it's a run and jump game, and all you can do is click to jump. But you can also hold the button down to click for a long time, or you can click it just a short while to make a quick jump, which can control how far you jump and how long you stay in the air and such. And that can actually work quite well and be a fun game to play. There are a few good examples of that around. And I once made a part of a game jam. I made an infinite runner game, or not an infinite runner, but I guess it was an infinite runner, but it was against other players. So you were 4 players, and each of you had to play a certain press a certain part of a screen, and it would make that the character you have jump. So you were running through a jungle and had to jump over quicksand and other obstacles, and you could throw knives. So you actually had 2 buttons, but I think we changed that because it didn't work very well with the knives anyway. So it was one screen and everyone just ran besides each other. And it's an interesting concept of a game, and you would win when you got a certain amount ahead of all the other players, and it would end by reaching a boat that could get you off the island, but it only had room for one of the 4. So that was a fun little project. So yeah, they have added their Ninjago Ninjas to the LEGO Microgames, which then works as an add-on and unlockable add-ons. And they can be unlocked by publishing a game on Unity Play. And Unity Play is actually pretty new as far as I remember. So it's a bit like the asset store, but for microgames, and maybe other stuff as well. But yeah, there are several add-ons, and we can try to see how it works to get it. So it's free, and we can add this to assets, and that means it's inside Unity, and we can click open in Unity. And here we have the packet manager for Unity, which is a pretty new thing, and part of it is that it can add these. Usually you had to just install stuff, and once it was installed, it would be in the project, and you had to know what it had put into the project to be able to remove it again. But now they have finally made this. It's been there for a while, but it's getting better and better. And you can actually click remove to have it removed from the project. So you can see these are some of the things that are already inside the project. And we can see what is there is total, and I can see what I have from the asset store. And since it's a new editor, I haven't even logged in yet, so all of this has been done without actually having a Unity account, even a trial one. I don't have a pro version of Unity because I'm not releasing games or making money with it. So yeah, there's a lot of different assets to work with, but the relevant one here is what are the installed assets, and that you can actually remove them pretty easily without having to know what it is all about. Oh yeah, WebGL publisher. That is how that it publishes the game to the web. But let's also see the bonus thing here. Build, publish, and bonus. Open the WebGL publisher window. And now I actually have to sign in. But first it has to switch to WebGL. And this actually releases this game, this mini game. Well, releases it. It compiles it so that it's a released version of the game that can be uploaded to the internet. It won't become available online just yet. As it says, this step can take up to 30 minutes, but it should be a lot faster than that. But you can just skip a bit ahead in the video to get to the next part. Yeah, it seems it's almost done now. Or I guess it will probably take 3 minutes. I guess we can go back and check the store again. So we have this Ninjago one, and it's released by Unity Technologies because that was a collaboration. But yeah, as we can see, there are actually other releases as well. One here is LEGO stickers for Unity Microgame. Let's add that as well, because why not? And I'll go back and we can see there was also Air Patrol. Believe in UFOs, or just want to impress your friends with this out-of-the-world spacecraft. So as you can see, it's a LEGO UFO. It does seem to suggest that it's a 2020 long-term support Unity version that is used for the LEGO Microgame. But as soon as 2021 has a long-term support version, I'm guessing you might as well use that one if they update this to support 2021. But if I'm not mistaken, it probably already does. Another way to use the store here is to search for assets, and we can try to just search for Microgame. And we can see other Unity Technologies microgames. Oh, it seems the FPS microgame is not the one I thought it was. So let's have a look. FPS microgame, where is it? I seem to only be able to find the micro. add-ons. So here we go. So this is like the Lego one. Oh, and we can see the progress here if it's doing something and we have to wait for it. And yeah, it's already 5 minutes, so the 30 minutes might not have been that long off as I thought. But here we have the FPS microgame. And as it explains, microgames are small, fully functional games that are designed to help you get started with Unity in a fun and interactive way. By following the simple in-editor tutorials that come with the project, you'll personalize and share your customized playable game on the web in as little as 30 minutes. Completely creative mods to keep modifying your game to make it more your own, all while learning the basics of Unity. The first-person shooter microgame is packed with versatile level building, assets, weapons, props, enemies, and more. And yeah, the interesting thing is about these microgames, which I think is a really good idea they have had here, is that you can download this package, like with the LEGO Microgame package, and get all of these add-ons that you can then just use with it, that has more weapons and so on. So you can see some images from it. And FPS means first person shooter, so as you can see here it's in first person. And you have a gun and some enemies, some health, and it even has a nice compass radar here that shows in what directions the enemies are. That's a pretty nice detail, I think. And different weapons, but still pretty simple graphics. The FPS game I was thinking about had pretty modern graphics and oh, seems I was wrong about how this worked, because it actually does seem to publish it on Unity Play, which is at its own website. And because I'm publishing, I'll get a knight's asset for that will be unlocked. Which can then be opened in Unity. I probably already had it, but yeah, then you can add a thumbnail. Good question. I'm not sure if the tutorial has its own mobile game controls, so to be sure. Oh, yeah, to be sure I'm not enabling this. If it does have mobile controls, it would be possible to play it on the phone, as I mentioned before. So let's add a thumbnail. Oh. And apparently a thumbnail can be anything. And then it can be played here in the browser. So it downloads the game to the browser, and I guess that this doesn't have a full screen feature for some reason. But click it and yeah, we can run around. So far it doesn't have I'm clicking out and back again so that I can use that as a preview. The sound is disabled, which is probably for the best anyway, but we can enable it down here. And it has the audio from before. And now it can be full screen also. And this is full screen because now it's not in the editor anymore. Remember to click the screen if it doesn't follow the mouse. And I think Alt Enter will... Oh, Escape will go out of the full screen mode. So here we see the mouse cursor, and I left click on it. It catches the mouse, and I can jump around on the platform. And you can see the platform is a bit rotated, like I did. So it's actually the version I made, and we press the platform, we can run through it. There are these inactive enemies, and it's completed. And we can go to the menu, click controls, there are controls, and no mobile controls it seems, so I'm wondering if it works with mobile. Make and share, try out creative mode, done. So that is all pretty nice, I think. So the only thing that needs the Unity account is to be able to publish the game. Otherwise, you can just play around with this as much as you want. Oh, also if you want more assets, of course, you will also need the Unity account. You can't get these add-ons without the Unity account. Oh yeah, you can also move around faster holding down Shift. While clicking around here, I right-click the editor window and move around with WASD. Oh, and these areas are part of the tutorial as well. They show how you can build stuff, so I can click this and click it, put it on top of other stuff and connect it all. And see, now it can only click select full objects, so I can combine stuff, but once it's combined, it becomes one object, and I move around the whole object. So that is the brick building system. We can put some flowers on it, rotate it a bit. Oh yeah, we need to select the single one, and then it can be moved around again. Now it should be part of the full object, and we can place some more stuff on it. So this could be an enemy of some kind, like the guy over here. And here you can place behaviors on them. So we have these prefabs and the behavior, and there are win conditions, pickup triggers if it's a pickup, rotate trigger, shoot trigger, even a speed trigger. And a look at one, so that you should be able to set it so that there's a trigger, nearby trigger, and then once you are nearby the enemy you can look at, but that's all in the tutorials. So I can recommend looking into this. I also might be making a tutorial on how to add virtual reality support for a LEGO game. I've been considering doing that for a while, because I think it would be interesting. And if I do it, I'll make a video showing how to mix virtual reality with these LEGO assets and microgames. I hope you liked the video. Have fun with the LEGO microgame stuff, and have a nice day. Bye again.